So we ran an experiment at Yale Law School a few years ago. It was an experiment on altruism, where you have a pie to divide between yourself, and another subject in the lab. Now, the exchange rate for, that dictates the translation of your dollars into this other person's dollars varied. So sometimes you get $1 and you can transform that into $10 for the other person. Sometimes your $10 each dollar is only worth 10 cents for the other person. So the cost of giving shifts around. Okay? So now an efficiency-minded person, if the cost of giving is cheap, then you give everything. If the cost of giving is expensive, you keep everything. Okay? Someone who is very equity-minded will be the opposite. Okay? So if I want us to each end up with about the same amount, when the cost of giving is expensive, then in order to have us both end up with about the same amount, I have to give this other guy practically everything. Now, that's just the setup. The interesting part of this is that students at Yale Law School are randomized into their first-year classes. So they take contracts and torts, and they'll take it with a philosopher or an economist. Now, the economists will emphasize notions of efficiency. So the gains from trade, for example, in teaching contracts. Whereas philosophers will tend to emphasize more things like labor capital relations and a fair division of the pie. So they're randomized into these classes. They are indoctrinated for a semester by economists or philosophers. And then at the end of the semester, they play this game. And first of all, the people taught by economists are just more selfish. So they just keep the whole pie for themselves, no matter what the price is given. But then there is actually a stronger effect of pushing them towards efficiency. So economists, while we might give lip service to, you can pick whatever your social welfare function is, we have no reason to think that efficiency is better than equity. We have a mania for efficiency, and the people taught by economists overwhelmingly were more likely to pick efficient allocations rather than equitable allocations. So there are all these ideas floating around out there about how we might impact people's behaviors, impact their altruism, impact their notions of fairness, impact their willingness to cheat. I think this is really very much a field in its infancy that has yet to coalesce into a set of principles that we can take into an exec ed course and tell the CEO of GE, this is what you should do with your HR policies. But this is the direction things are headed.